Hey, check 1 2, check 1 2. Hey, fans, welcome to the year 2026. 250 years since the great Thomas Jefferson, however you may think of him, may not have lived by his ideals, may have lived by his ideals, may have died penniless and leaving his debt to his family. Who really knows what happened there? But 250 years since he wrote the Declaration of Independence. Sorry for the delay. I think when we left you last, we had just finished talking about our trip to Charlottesville. It was a fun trip, and we owe you a couple episodes. We got a couple in the can. I'm still dealing with the what do you call it? The effects of having our Google account removed for a portion of the time. I seem to be having difficulty transferring stuff that we had recorded on a different account to this account, and I'm going through it. So I'm trying to figure it out, but haven't really wanted to face the work of editing these episodes down. It's a lot more work than you would think, and I will fall on the sword on this time. It's not 100% John. It's New Year's. I wanted to go through. I owe some things. I'm by myself right now. I'm just getting ready to edit this upcoming episode, and I just wanted to get some stuff out. Let's see here. Fan mail. We got a message from October 13th from our friend Dick Pepperfield. It's been too long, boys. I have to call you out, though. You said you have nothing to talk about. Last I checked, this is a history podcast, not a current events podcast. You have the entirety of history to talk about. I do like how you somehow become akin to the Galaxy Quest historical documents for Africans. You could probably do a pod tour there and be treated like gods. Ken Burns is doing the pod tour circuit, so have your people reach out and get them on quickly. I will be tuning into this series if you are covering it. I think he's talking about the Ken Burns documentary, which is upcoming. This is subtext, sorry. Prop bets to follow. That's for the Ken Burns documentary that we discussed in the episode that he is responding to. I'm very excited about Death by Lightning. I demand you do a 4-point episode on this as it looks amazing and ripe for content. This should be pure nailing history fuel. McFadden is a legend and will crush as Guiteau. So this episode, we will be talking about Death by Lightning. It's just one episode, though. We did not do a 4-parter. Didn't want to commit to too much. And, we tend to drag things on too long. So just one episode to talk about one podcast episode to talk about the 4 parts of that Netflix production. And that's what you will be hearing here shortly. We got a new fan. It goes by the name Tim Cramlin. This is from October 16th. First time, long time. Appreciate you 2 co-hosts being back in action and loving the After Dark vibe. It's good feedback. Subtext. Stealing a popular idea, but what about making a nailing history themed bingo board for Kenny Burns' new documentary rather than doing over-unders? Keep up the good work and stay curious, stealing that since John is giving it up. Boom. Tim Cramlin. Tim, great idea. We did not get to it. We did watch the documentary. We have that series. It's a series of podcasts. We did 3 episodes. And we have that in the can, ready to go. Haven't brought myself to start editing that similarly to this upcoming episode, but I needed to get this fan mail out. We appreciate it. That was a good idea, the bingo board. I thought that would be something that would be fun to do, but the documentary came and went and just didn't get to it. So maybe you should have done it for us, Mr. Cramlin. That would have been nice. Just wanted to say thanks to the fans for being here. I was thinking, let's see. Let's just see if we can get John on the line here. Maybe we can get his take here.
do it all. What up?
Hey, John, it's Matt here, your co-host with the Nailing History podcast.
Nice. Hey, go.
Hey, I'm doing a little intro for our Death by Lightning, a little intro to the Death by Lightning episode / year recap, and just kind of getting all of our thanks out. So I wanted to give you a call.
Okay. I might have to call you back. I got a meeting at the top of the hour.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
Okay.
Why did you answer?
You're my co-host. It's obviously a good day.
Oh, man, this is a tough... Well, skip the meeting. Tell them you're busy.
Wish I could. I wish it were that easy.
All right, big dog. We'll come... How long's the meeting?
30 minutes, 40 minutes.
I guess I'll have to ramble for 30, 40 minutes. Not too hard. All right. Good luck.
Have fun. See ya.
All right, fans. So you heard that. So let's, while we're waiting on him, I don't know if I'm going to be able to ramble for 30 to 40 minutes, but let's see if we can get some fans on the line, and maybe get their favorite moments of the year here. So let's try, see if we can get anybody to answer here.
Yo.
Hey, is this Tim Cramlin?
This is Tim Cramlin. What's up, dog?
Hey, this is Matt for the Nailing History podcast. How's it going?
Sorry. It's going good. You can edit that part out, my bad.
I didn't hear what you said, so it's fine.
Wow. That's good.
How's it going? Hey, just Happy New Year. Happy 2026.
Happy New Year. I feel like it's been over a year since you guys have put out a pod.
I'll tell you. Well, that's what I'm getting to. I'm finally getting to editing some of our episodes that we have in the can, and I'm doing a little intro, and I just wanted to call our top fans and wish them a happy new year and thank them for listening. So thanks for listening. And I just what was your favorite part of the podcast this year?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Uh-huh.
Wow, you see what there's not. No, I think all of them are equally good.
Oh, that's a cop-out answer.
Say.
You have to say one specific bit that you liked this year.
I think I like the bit of your co-host, or sorry, I guess the host of the show, John, saying in the Google episode. Although I didn't realize I got a notification.
Oh, that he was part of the problem after letting me. Yes. What's the word? Yeah. For like the whole episode, for like 20 minutes, I went off on Google, and then he said it was his fault. So that was interesting. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I like that one, but I do think that the whole. I also like the assassinations episode. Was that this year?
That was last year.
Was that last year? I like that one as well, and I think that I think Netflix is listening into you.
Yeah. Well, your fan
I love
mail.
The whole.
Oh, go ahead. Well, your fan mail said that you're loving the After Dark vibe.
Oh yes, yeah. Who doesn't want to cut loose a little bit?
Yeah.
I like it. I feel like John's a different host on there too.
Yeah, it's just tough. It's tough. You gotta record on like a Friday night, so you're feeling the vibes. You try to record an After Dark episode on a Sunday afternoon. No one's in the mood for that.
Yeah, you have an adult beverage or two.
Mm-hmm.
Loosen up. Yeah.
21 and over. We're 21 and over.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to check in. Just get your input and say sorry for not getting back to you and your family. I did read it. It's pretty expired as far as the context, but I still read it to the fans.
Well, I very much appreciate that. So, and I appreciate the good work that you guys do, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of it.
Did you
get back in a groove.
Make any New Year's resolutions?
I generally don't do a New Year's resolution, but I will say one thing I'm trying to do this year is be a little more active.
Like on the pod, or
no? I mean, if I can find time in my busy schedule, I would always be open to
I know you do have a busy schedule. I know,
but exactly. Working hard.
Well, join an app like Strava. This episode is brought to you by the Strava app. Actually, we're sponsored by them now. If you sign up for a premium subscription and use the code Nailed It, you get nothing off, but we get a kudos.
That's pretty awesome.
Sign up for
seems like a really good deal for you guys and for them.
Sign up for the Strava Premium and set yourself a goal, Mr. Kremlin. Set yourself a goal and stick to it. I came up 170 miles short of my goal last year on Strava, to give everyone an update, but I had a couple issues. I had the flu, had some calf issues throughout the year, starting on Valentine's Day. I remember spending an evening at the gym by myself. Well, not by myself. There were a bunch of lonely hearts over on the gym on Valentine's Day, and I hurt my calf that day, and it took a while to get back up and running. But then I did, and then I had a calcific tendonitis in my shoulder. So I have the excuses built in, but I did still come up short.
Hey, well, but you got to set goals that are hard to reach too. So sometimes you got to push yourself.
For sure.
It's all right that you came up short, and you'll do it this year, man. I believe in you.
Thanks, man. Well, that's good. That's a good New Year's resolution. Hey, have you ever heard that it's good luck for at midnight to eat 12 grapes under a table?
No, I have never heard that in my life.
Just recently heard about this. It's like you get under the table, and I don't know if it needs to be green or purple grapes, but you get on the table and you're supposed to eat one grape at each strike of like the bell. It's like an old school tradition from Spain, apparently. Yeah. So like it's like 12 grapes in 12 seconds, which like I feel like
that seems pretty hard to do.
That, and you could certainly die from choking on those grapes, I would think. I mean, 12 grapes in 12 seconds. That's I would say it's probably impossible. Right?
Ooh, that sounds like good. That sounds like a challenge for the host. I think you guys should try that out.
The thing is that if you don't do it, so this is what happens. The conversation kind of got started because I made pork and sauerkraut yesterday, which is good luck. I think it's a German tradition or Pennsylvania Dutch tradition. I'm not really sure if it's a specific culture. Because like I always thought that everybody knew that, but as I grew older, I realized not everybody does that.
Yes, that's one that my family does as well.
It's good. So I made it
this year, but we normally do.
That's supposed to be good luck, and I did make it. I would argue that making pork and sauerkraut is easier than eating 12 grapes in 12 seconds. But my thought was the whole time I was making this pork and this was the first time I ever made it, and like it's pretty easy. You just throw sauerkraut, and I threw some apples and onions and some brown sugar in a crock pot, and then like a pork loin on top, and just set it and forget it. But I was worried because like I didn't know when it was going to be done, and I didn't know if you could overcook things in a crock pot. So I didn't know, and like, I don't know. I read directions, and they were like, put it on high for an hour, and then leave it on low for 5 hours. But I didn't know if that was a minimum or a maximum. And anyway, the whole time I'm like, well, if I mess up the pork, is that bad luck? So then I was like, why did I even try it? Because if I would have been better off just doing nothing. And then that made me start thinking. Then when I heard about this grape thing, I'm like, well, if you try the grape thing and then don't do it, is that bad luck? I can't deal with bad luck. But the pork came out okay, so I think I'm in for some good luck this year.
So all you have is pork and sauerkraut though? Do you do any like
mashed potatoes?
Like mashed potatoes. I was gonna say mashed potatoes is what we eat.
Yeah, it was good.
All together, and
I had some bread, but I didn't have any butter. I bought bread, like a nice Italian baguette, but then I didn't have any butter. So
You
That
just
was it.
mixed cultures there, but that's cool.
I guess that's what I get. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What other German side is there? Exactly. Pennsylvania Dutch.
That's tough. There's not a whole heck of a lot. Yeah.
Green beans. I don't know. But yeah, so that was good. So yeah, so I don't know. I was surprised to hear that tradition. So that was good.
Yeah, that's a new one to me too. I've never heard that one.
Well,
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know where that comes from?
Spain. And
Spain?
You know what? It's actually pretty funny.
I should know about that then.
I guess this would have been a good podcast talk, but I looked it up and I thought it was funny because I got it here. I took a screenshot. The tradition dates back to at least 1895, but was greatly popularized in 1909. In December of that year, some Alicantese vine growers spread this custom to encourage grape sales due to overproduction during an excellent harvest. So it was a cash grab in 1909. Right? Like, oh my God, we have all these we have all these extra grapes. Let's tell everybody it's good luck if you eat 12 grapes and
yeah.
I would love to know, like, I'm wondering if there's like a death statistic of people choking on the grapes. There's more than one. I bet there is. Somebody in the history since 1909 has died from trying this grape thing. Had to have. Pretty wild to think about if you think about it.
Yeah, so especially if you have to do 12 and 12 seconds.
12 and 12 seconds is impossible. How do you have to swallow?
It's impossible, but you basically have to I feel like you gotta did you ever play Chubby Bunny as a kid? I feel like you got a Chubby Bunny in a little bit and just pack them all in.
I've never played Chubby Bunny.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
You take full-size marshmallows and you see how many you can fit in your mouth, but you have to say Chubby Bunny.
Yeah, but you have to eat them though. I feel like you can't have them left over in your mouth.
I feel like you gotta pack, but I feel like and then eat them after it's set.
Maybe.
Eat them at the 12 second. Rather than trying to eat one in 1 second. Just eat 12 at the 12 second there,
Possible.
Up a little bit.
Yeah. That's possible.
I don't know. Like I said, I feel like that's a challenge for you and John.
I guess. I mean, it's too late now. I guess we'll have to wait till 2027.
Yeah. Well, only if you want the good luck. I mean, you can do the challenge at any time.
True. And then you're not risking having bad luck if you don't do it.
Exactly. You just have the risk of death. So,
I know. Crazy.
Is that worth it?
Well, let me ask you this. If you were to do it, would you do green grapes or purple grapes?
Purple. Easy.
And they're smaller.
And they're better.
I don't know. I'm not a big green
grape.
Have you ever had cotton candy grapes though?
Yes.
They're good.
And they're fine in small.
But they're way too big to do this challenge with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess you could do purple grapes. Plus, I mean, I think we're assuming. I feel like I'm kind of talking out of school here, but if you go to have you ever been to a vineyard?
Only to buy wine. I've never actually
gone into
hung out in a vineyard.
But have you seen the vines? Because I feel like maybe grapes that are used for wine are really small, like blueberry size.
Oh,
you know. And then if that's the case, I could eat 12 blueberries in 12 seconds. Well, I don't know. I don't like blueberries. They're gross. I mean, I like them with a bunch of sugar.
Whoa.
I like them with a bunch of sugar, but otherwise.
With sugar? Oh, okay.
Well, I'm saying in blueberry pie. I like blueberries. But by themselves, they're gross.
Yeah, I'm generally not one of just popping a blueberry with nothing else.
Right. Exactly.
So you put it in a muffin, you put it in bread.
Yeah, but they're all sweetened up. You can sweeten up, but without any sweetener, I don't know. They suck. But anyway, if I did like grapes, I could, or if I did like blueberries, I could probably eat 12 of them in 12 seconds.
They're also real soft too. I don't know who's choking on a blueberry.
Well, yeah, they're small and they're soft. You're right. And
Yeah,
like,
they're,
but and then I
way
also don't
soft.
know. Like, I think you need to like pop like the bell rings, one grape. The bell rings, one grape. The bell ring. You can't just like put a bunch in your mouth like at midnight and eat 12 of them right away. You have to. It's
Yeah.
it's like one grape per second, not 12 grapes in 12 seconds. If that makes sense. It's like
Yeah.
one grape per second for 12 seconds, not 12 grapes in 12 seconds.
And yeah.
So
Okay, so I guess you couldn't like pack it in like you would with
bunny
sunflower
mouth.
seeds.
What was it?
Yeah.
What was that game?
Oh, chubby bunny.
Chubby bunny. You heard it here, fans.
Woo. It's a great fireside game.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I just wanted to. I got a couple other people to call. You're the first one. Well, I talked to John. I was trying to get him, but he had to get off for a meeting in like 2 minutes. So. I know. I told him to bail on it, but I guess he couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who's having a meeting on January 2nd? That's crazy.
I know. Ridiculous.
No. Wait, you tell Dick Pepperfield I said what up.
I will. I'll see if he answers. I don't know. I'm gonna try Dick Pepperfield. I'm gonna try Brian K. And I'm gonna try Emily M.
All right.
So thanks a lot, Tim Cramlin or Andrew S. However you want to be known on the podcast. I appreciate
Whoa! Just giving away my identity. Okay.
Well, you've already been on. That is
true.
You're a show regular at this point.
Yeah, you're right. I've been on a couple times.
Yeah. So, all right.
Fair point.
Well, happy 2026, and be looking forward to some. Be looking for us in the old podcast queue next couple weeks.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, big dog.
Stay curious.
Burn.
Ooh.
All right, later, dog.
All right,
See if Dick Pepperfield will answer here.
You've reached. Leave a message after the beep.
Sweet voicemail, Dick. Hey, Dick Pepperfield, it's Matt from the Nailing History podcast. I'm going to bleep out your name so that your alias remains untouched, but just calling to wish you happy 2026, and thank you for the listens, and the feedback and the fan mail, and hoping you have a healthy and wealthy and wise new year.
What's up, big dog?
Hi, is this Brian K?
Oh. Now?
Yep.
I wish I had time. I do not.
Well, I was just calling to say Happy New Year and thanks for the listens.
Oh, appreciate it. Can't wait for the next pod.
All right.
All right.
Somebody's cranky. Later. Oh, man. I guess this isn't the best timing, I guess, but it's okay. You know what? I know for a fact Emily M isn't available. I guess I didn't pick the best time to do it. Anyway, fans, we had a good talk with Andrew S. And Brian K just sent me a follow-up text message saying I'm always cranky at work. Hey, whatever gets you through the day, Brian K. That's cool. Hopefully our podcast will help you be uncranky as we come into the new year. So I guess that's it. I don't want to keep everybody on for too long. I've been talking for a little bit too long here, longer than I expected. But I'm hoping John calls me back and I can get him on and we can go over some of our favorite moments of the podcast for the year. And yeah, we'll touch base then again. All right, fans, it's been 2 calendar days since I last talked to the host, John N. here, who promised he was going to call me back, and he never did. So let's call him and see if he's doing okay.
Please leave your message for
Jonathan.
Hey, John N., it's Matt, your co-host here with the Nailing History podcast. Just checking in since we haven't heard from you in 2 calendar days since you said you were going to call me back. We're a little worried. The fans are a little worried. And I guess, I guess at least this is giving the fans a insight into what I deal with trying to run this show on a weekly basis. So, hope you're doing okay. I guess the show will have to go on without you. All right, fans, maybe we will have to, I don't know. Maybe we'll see if he decides to call back at any point soon. Otherwise, we'll just have to release this episode without hearing about his year in review. So, we'll see. All right, fans, I think we got John on the pod here. Hold on.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey,
What's up?
not much.
Did you get my
Still
message?
recording?
Yep.
It has.
Welcome back. Thanks for calling me back.
You got it.
2 days late, huh?
Hey, better late than never.
What? I was worried about you, so I just wanted to check in.
Just, living life to the fullest.
Just couldn't find the time to call back for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was a little touch and go.
Yeah. Or are you still in the meeting that you had? I don't know.
Meetings let out. The meeting has let out.
Did it just let out? Is that why you couldn't answer before?
Yeah. Kept me locked in.
Well, Happy New Year, John. No, we weren't. I was just checking in. We called a couple fans. We called Andrew S. We had a nice little chat with Andrew S. And called Brian K. at work. And Dick Pepperfield didn't answer. So
Was Brian K. in a meeting too, or?
No, he just said, I can't do this right now. I was just getting prepared to, I was editing the Death by Lightning episode, which is what's following up after this conversation for the fans, and figured I wanted to record an intro. I have since gone through it. When I first called you, I hadn't gone through the Death by Lightning episode. And I have now gone through it, and you guys could probably skip this one.
Well, just,
we tried to do too much.
Morning commute.
We tried to do too much in one recording. I think we were pretty wiped by the end of it. We'll never learn our lesson. But anyway,
things will never change.
How were your holidays?
Holidays were fun. Had a chance to spend it with family, eat some good food, eat some good old fashioned ham loaf from proud Pennsylvania Dutch that are in Shady Maple, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Shout out.
Ham loaf.
It was pretty good. About a cup of sugar, ham mashed together, shaved into a loaf, and baked.
Did you get any cool? Who is that in the background?
Oh, let's Lauren N.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi, Lauren N. Welcome back to the show. Happy New Year.
Thanks. Happy New Year. Passing it back to John.
Yeah.
John,
so
did you get any?
time.
Did you get any cool gifts in the mail or anything?
I got a little something.
What was it?
Some fans might describe it as a finger puppet. With the likeness of our third president, Mr. Tommy J. Jefferson.
That's a pretty cool gift. What are you going to do with it?
Well, there's a magnet on his head, so it's on my fridge right now as we speak.
Cool. That's a good gift. That's a great gift. I guess Santa was listening. Guess Santa's a fan of the show.
Santa is listening. He had my name. He called my number. Although he might have made a misdelivery. I think it was written out to a Ricky Wong. I don't know if it was set to the correct address or not, but
maybe it was from Ricky Wong.
I think that's a little more likely. Yeah, he's a big American history buff.
Oh boy. All right.
How was your Christmas?
It was okay. I didn't get any gifts in the mail from fellow co-hosts, podcast co-hosts, but that's okay, I guess.
You're going on a trip instead.
Yeah, but you're going on a big trip with your fellow co-host, if I hear correctly.
Lauren N's really eavesdropping in on the conversation here.
He's sitting right next to me.
Oh, I thought he was in a meeting. I thought he just got out of a work meeting.
Unquote working.
Just got out of work. Yeah, just out. Hey, we doing it tough out here.
So what I was asking the fans is like, what was your favorite moment of this year, the Nailing history this year, John?
I would say had to be our field trips.
Yeah. Which was
I don't know if that actual recording of the podcast now analyzing those trips was necessarily the highlight, but the actual trips themselves. I would say going to Williamsburg and having the door shut in our face right at 5:00 as we're trying to enter the House of Burgesses has to be a highlight.
Yeah, that was a low light or highlight, however you want to describe it.
The peanut soup. Highlight.
It was good. Yeah. It was a good year for trips, not so much of a good year for recording content, I'll say that much. Got our Google account taken from us. I think we only recorded like 10 episodes this year. Definitely getting a good return ROI here with the podcast equipment and subscriptions. Which you still owe me $17 for the membership.
If I recall correctly, I sent it to you.
Did you?
I think I did.
I don't think you did. Anyway, what can the fans expect this year from the podcast, John?
A couple surprises, a couple shot in the darks, you might say.
Oh yeah, like what?
Might be taking another trip. Netflix might be releasing another show that we could watch and talk about.
God, I hope so. We did such a good job, as the fans will hear in the next couple minutes here.
Just maybe we'll read a book. Maybe we'll start a book club sort of thing. Something our fans can follow along with.
Maybe we get, with this whole invading Venezuela situation we got going on here, maybe we can have some Monroe Doctrine talk.
A little bit, a little talk. Reminds me of a college paper I did on the Cuban Revolution.
Cool. I'm sure it was very good. Do you still have the paper? Maybe we can just read it to the fans. Well, it's probably published.
I would hope so.
Wait, is it high school or college?
It was a high school paper. I remember I got credit for it in Brit Lit and Spanish class. I got a 2-for-1.
Oh yeah, I remember
that one.
That. Yeah. Wow, good for you.
Yeah, Cuban Revolution. Come a long way since then. Picked him up in a matter of minutes. It seems like.
Oh yeah.
I guess Fidel was a little luckier. Yeah, could be interesting.
No, I would argue it's none of our business, but that's okay. I think some may argue that.
I mean, the oil's not going to come out of the ground by itself.
No, it's not about oil. It's not about oil.
Okay.
Or their mineral reserves. No. Who said something about oil? You cooking over there?
Speaking of that, yeah, might need some. Might need some of that oil.
I don't think they have cooking oil in Venezuela. I'm not sure if they're exporting the extra virgin variety of oil.
Well, there's never, anything's possible. You know what the plans are for Gaza, so anything's possible in this crazy world.
That's true. Well, thanks for making me following up to get you on the pod, just to give everyone you want to give a little intro into the Death by Lightning recap at all for the fans, get them excited.
Yeah, it was the show was awesome. It was written about a book. It was taken on a book, and it's got a great all-star cast, quite the ensemble, and they did not disappoint whatsoever with our boy, Mr. Charles Guiteau.
Well, they did disappoint greatly, but the fans can listen in and find out where we were most disappointed and what may have been left out of the show.
Yes. They could have done better with that, but all in all, I thought it was entertaining, and really surprised they decided to talk about that subject entirely.
You know what's cool? So that was like 4 episodes, 4-hour-long episodes, maybe a little bit longer. So maybe I'd just say it was 4 hours total. Our recap episode to talk about it is getting close to 2 hours long at this point. A little bit of intro, but
maybe they could watch. Our fans you could watch the show if you haven't seen it yet. Watch the show, mute the sound, and then just have our podcast playing.
Well, we don't really. That's the problem. We don't really stick to any chronological direction when we talk about it. We kind of go all around, skip all around, and then
yeah. But I think that kind of summarizes Charles Guiteau's outlook on life.
Well, we definitely had
somebody who.
It's definitely run as the podcast is definitely run as though Charles Guiteau had something to do with it, with his what was it? His newspaper that he wanted to come out with. Spoiler alert, he wants to come out with the newspaper because he thinks he's into politics. So I guess if that newspaper ever came to fruition, which he didn't get any investments in, it would have wound up to be like our podcast. Daily Theocrat. The Daily Theocrat.
The Daily Theocrat, yeah.
So we are Nailing History podcast is the Daily Theocrat of podcasts. Is how I could only assume. Although, lucky for us, technology has led it to not needing a ton of money to start something like that.
Capital outlay is minimal.
So, well, especially for you.
half of the co-host.
Oh boy!
Anyone who's a big James G. Blaine fan is in for quite the treat too. He was quite at the center of attention.
I don't know if we talked so much about him. It was a good show. Enjoy the recap, fans, and Happy New Year, and thanks for sticking to us. Just let's give some shout outs, John. We got Andrew S., who joined us a little bit earlier, Brian K., sorry for interrupting you at work, Dick Pepperfield, Mark C.,
yep.
Emily M.,
Lauren N.,
Max G. Can't forget Max G.
Nope. He's waiting on pins and needles for this one.
Who else? Is that it? That's 7 people.
We have enough apostles of the show. We want it.
Well, I think we need 12.
We need 12. I think Jesus picked from 90 disciples, so I guess we have our...
Is that what it is?
I think so, something like that. I don't know, maybe we'll do a podcast on it one day.
All right, fans, enjoy the recap and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, fans.
All right, fans. We're back again. Doing John and I, just full disclosure, John and I are trying to do a back-to-back episode or back-to-back recording session. We just wrapped up the talk about our trip. But I wanted to, I don't know how often John's going to be available to do this record. He's very busy, and I just want to make sure that we get our thoughts down about this before we forget or before it really, simmers. John, how's it going? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm hanging it.
We're like 2 hours in on. We're 2 hours in on a recording session.
Yeah, doing good, but there's just too much to talk about. We got to keep moving along here. We already gave all of our fans so much to look forward to, and now we're past the point of no return, so we got to keep going.
Yep.
How have you been?
So, I'm good. I'm still a little upset about the Google thing. So, what we're going to talk about in this episode is we want to review Death by Lightning, at least go over our thoughts of the show, which was the Netflix series about James Garfield and Charles Guiteau. I binged it very quickly.
Hours. Content. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 4 hours. I think the first one was longer.
The last one
the
was an hour and a half.
Was
the
it?
last
Am I
one was
right?
an hour and a half. Yeah.
Is it? Okay. So
you'll get hooked.
It's funny. It's good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I'll say that from the start. Before I watched it, or was it after I watched episode 1? Did you listen to the podcast where we talked about it? I assume you did not.
Yeah.
Like in preparation to watch it.
No, I'd already done the podcast with you, and I'd listened to it after we released it.
Well, that was like a year ago.
A year ago?
Maybe you would have just listened to see. Yeah, it was after Trump got us. It was over a year ago.
Oh, the Guiteau. Oh, no. Oh, I was talking about... Yeah. I thought you meant us getting ready for this episode. Like when we found out that they were going to release this show. I was like, why would I listen to it? We just recorded it like 3 weeks ago. I did not listen to the Assassinations episode again. No. But I did remember it.
Now,
a fan laughing hard.
Now, a fan, Andrew S., did actually listen to the episode in preparation to watch this. So I got to give it to him. I don't know if anybody else did. I don't know if maybe Dick Pepperfield did or Brian K., but I listened to it and Andrew S. listened to it. And it was funny to listen to because I specifically said in there when we were learning about it, I could just tell the way that it was delivered. It was funny because you either just got I forget how we set up that episode. If you presented everything to me and I didn't do any research, I think that's kind of what happened. I was like, you find it all and you tell me about it. I forget, but you were definitely either you didn't do any prep work and you were just copying off of ChatGPT and you never really read it, or you read it initially and you didn't see the humor in it until you were saying it to me, because like you're saying it all very straight laced and like, oh yeah, he did this, and then I'm kind of like coming back like, wait, what happened? And I'm laughing about it, I'm commenting on it, and at one point I say specifically, there needs to be made a movie about this guy.
It's funny you say that because they were filming it at the time that recording was released. It was being filmed.
When was it
filmed? In Budapest, Hungary.
I think it's Budapest.
No, it's Pest.
No, I think it's Pest.
July 1st, 2024 to October of 2024.
Wow, yeah.
They were literally
would have been like
in
just
the works
starting
of making it.
Hey, they probably listened. They probably turned it around that quick. Maybe they were always planning on it, but they didn't know the tone to take until they listened to our podcast. They had to completely rewrite to like fit them. Oh wait, this is a funny story.
Insane. And funny at the same time. It was wild.
So
I watched it with my wife. Made her watch it. She fell asleep during the first episode.
I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
are you serious? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
I think so it opens up great with like these guys is that the opening scene where they're like working in a warehouse or something, cleaning something out, and then they come across this jar with a brain in it that says Charles Guiteau
in the 1960s.
and then the one guy's like, who the fuck? And then the guy's like, who the fuck is Charles Guiteau?
That's how it opens up.
And then boom, starts a it's a good opening.
I didn't discover that in our initial research that they cut his brain out.
I think that's true, because what I found out, I don't know if we're necessarily going in the order that we should be, but what I found out is like they thought that he was maybe insane from like syphilis or some other type of disease, which is I guess if you get syphilis, you can go crazy, which we learned like he didn't really have that much of a chance of getting syphilis, as we learned in a flashback portion of the show. Where at some point in time he was living in like a sex commune. What was that?
A night of free commune. It was like a religious. It was like a
Do
religious.
You know about
it was
that?
like a religious
it's real?
cult. Yeah, it was a religious thing.
Did you know
heard about
that?
it before, but not any major details. Just from what I can tell, it's called the Oneida Community. It was up in New York. It was a perfectionist religious communal society. So people were like they practiced communalism, like no individual property. And that was extended to like marriage. So like as
just free
long
love.
as
It was
people
free
were
love,
like consenting.
basically.
It was partly religious. It was a weird thing. Basically saying they believed that Jesus had already returned in AD 70. So he'd already come back, making it possible for them to bring about Jesus's millennial kingdom themselves and be perfect and free of sin in this world, not just in heaven.
Okay, whatever. So there was a part in the story where he was where Charles Guiteau was up there in this commune, and he wasn't getting lucky. Let's just keep it PG. And he obtained the nickname Charlie because like none of the women liked him, and he was like peeping on them and creeping on them and everything. And he's like arguing. He's like, that's not true. And then they said, well, you did get it. Well, then how did you get your nickname? And they're like, what do you mean? And they're like, his nickname was Charlie Get Out. Good old Charlie Get Out. So no one liked him there. So I don't know, who knows, but yeah. So the show, like the show started. It started with James Garfield living in a farm and then getting hailed to come to Chicago for the Republican National Convention.
Yep.
And that was cool. I think we talked about that. We've talked about this, and that's what it was cool to see. It is like I think we've talked about this. I don't know. We might have talked about this during the Grover Cleveland episode, where like you mentioned that the national convention is like primaries have already been happening, and it's all just a show that like they know who the nomination is going to be. But this was like this was like specifically like you bring your guys up and you pitch to them, and then tell us why we should vote for them, and then the states all voted for them.
And apparently they weren't there. Like the nominees didn't necessarily have to be there like they were in the show. But yeah, basically you had like a hype man that would have to like kind of go up and explain to the rest of the party convention like why you should be the nominee. So
and who was voting? Was it like people from the RNC of each state?
Yeah,
is that
I
what
think
it,
each
is that what
state
it is?
carried I think each state had X amount of votes. That's why they kept saying,
And who was
Pennsylvania?
Yeah, and who were the voters? Were they the representatives? Like or I don't know. Like who actually voted? So there were no primary votes here. It was like you got nominated through the...
Yeah, you got nominated through whoever. I don't know if in the primary votes, maybe I don't know if the primary voting would have been to just send your representatives to the convention and they could vote on their own behalf. Like you're just voting who you want to go to this convention. But there were 755 delegates. You needed 378 to win the nomination.
This is specifically
in 1880.
Here,
so in this election, in this cycle, Republican National Convention of 1880. It was held from June 2nd to June 8th, 1880 in Chicago. And yeah, it was a lot of back and forth, but
Yeah, so it was pretty crazy from what I understand. So to paint the picture, and we did talk about this before leading up to Grover Cleveland, because at the end of the show, they allude to what we talked about on here is that Grover Cleveland won. Who did he beat?
Blaine.
Which was the guy, was the Secretary of State, who was like a big character
in the show. He's played by Brad Whitford, the actor, Brad Whitford.
Yeah, the guy with the white hair, white beard. He lost to Grover Cleveland, which ended like a 30-year run of Republicans running the White House,
Lincoln,
or longer, since Lincoln. So the political atmosphere was Ulysses S. Grant was the running president. I guess he'd already ran
been in the office 2 terms, and the stalwarts who were like who were the advocates of like the spoil system and the corruption. They were run by a man named Roscoe Conkling, the dapper Roscoe Conkling.
Yeah, he had a good style.
So they wanted Ulysses S. Grant again. So
they wanted him again.
Continue running the gravy train effectively.
Yeah, and I think like James Blaine and James Garfield and whoever I forget the guy's name who James Garfield came to present.
John Sherman. He was the younger brother of General William Tecumseh Sherman.
So basically, James Garfield gets invited to the RNC to nominate this guy to be both from Ohio. James Garfield's from Ohio. This guy Sherman's from Ohio. And it was basically between Sherman,
Grant.
Blaine, and Grant, right? They were the 3 main people, and they kept voting and kept voting and kept voting. Then all of a sudden, Grant had the most, but not enough to get the nomination. Blaine was second, and then this guy Sherman was last. And then like through many different iterations of voting, basically James Garfield, his speech for John Sherman was or Sherman, whatever his name is, was so great that people started to be like, why doesn't this guy be the president? And I guess that's true. I didn't fact check that.
Yeah. It's 35 ballots. I think they realized, I don't know how true that was about, he just swayed us. And because then there's a moment in the show where Garfield and Sherman meet in a hallway. I think this is right after Garfield either got the nomination, and he's like, no man makes a speech like that if he doesn't want it for himself. And I don't think
he doesn't want it.
I doubt that.
Well, it's Hollywooded up. But did that process actually? I mean, I guess we should have probably done some fact checking.
Well, we're not doing the fact checking of that. We're fact checking the show.
We'll get through it.
We're talking about the show.
We'll get through it.
The show.
No, but I'm saying did that actually happen? Was Garfield invited not as a nominee, and then it wound up him becoming the nominee through that?
James Garfield came to Chicago.
Let's do some research while we're talking.
Chicago as a senator-elect from Ohio. So he wasn't even serving in the Senate yet by the time he was at this convention. He'd represented the state in the United States House of Representatives since 1863. So he'd been in D.C. for some time, almost 17 years. Ohio Senate 1859, served under Major, he was in the Civil War. I'm just trying to see at this convention. He faced allegations of corruption for receiving $329 in tainted money in the Credit Mobilier of America corruption scandal. They didn't talk about that in the show. Denied the charges. I'm just trying to see when he was moving the house.
Oh my God, get to the point.
He wasn't affiliated with the stalwarts or the half-breeds, so that might have been a reason why he was able to be the dark horse, because he didn't run in the circle of Roscoe Conkling and Chester Arthur, who, if you watch the show, they're one half, and then he didn't run with James Blaine, who was that leader of the half-breeds.
So yes, he became the dark horse as a compromise candidate after the convention became deadlocked between the other contenders.
Yeah, so the stalwarts and the half-breeds couldn't jive. They kept basically throwing away the vote because Grant was getting so many. No one was getting a majority.
Right. So they picked somebody who everyone could more or less agree with, because I think everyone thought that they could take advantage of him and use him.
We
the
get
way
our
they
guys,
want to.
the stalwart. They would get some guys in his cabinet, and then the other faction of within the Republic, the half breeds, would get their people in the cabinet. And that was kind of the bargain that was sort of implied on the back end.
Yeah. So he does that. Then he's running for president, and this guy Roscoe Conkling, kind of gets him the votes. Very much they're always talking about how New York is the most powerful state in the union, and it needs to stay that way because that's where all the. I think they made some comment of like Roscoe or James or Chester Arthur, who ultimately became Garfield's running mate, vice presidential candidate, was in charge of the port
House of New York,
or the Customs House in New York. And they at some point they said that 80% of the federal government's revenue came through
New York.
That specific
Customs House.
So that's how they were running
They
the
held the federal government. Yeah, they, in a way, if you had your man or your group in the Customs House of New York, yeah, you held the bag of the federal government, because I remember this is before the income tax, so all federal revenue was accrued through tariffs and customs duties. Right. I was there once. It was actually pretty cool. It's interesting. It's down by Wall Street. It's neat.
Yeah. So that's how James Garfield's story kind of gets introduced. Now I'm trying to think of how our buddy, good old Charlie what is it? Charlie Get Out? Good old Charlie Get Out. How is he introduced specifically? He was talking to his sister about starting a newspaper in Chicago. Like right off the bat, you can tell
he's not on trial, but he was in jail, and they're like, he's basically sitting on a chair, and he's got a lineup of guys that are grilling them with questions. Looks like he's being pardoned for something, kind of like as pardon hearing, and basically
like a parole hearing.
Sorry. And the guy asks him a question, and he comes back with like some over the top, like very elaborate answer. And these older dudes are just like, "What are you saying?" Like, they were like dumbfounded at whatever the hell he was saying. He was like giving some super idealistic answer to a very like direct question they wanted known.
Right.
And they were like, "You can leave now." And then it cuts to him, on a train with his sister.
So Guiteau, he's meeting with his sister, and he's like, he's obviously the loser of the family. The dad disowned him; he doesn't want anything to do with him. I believe at this point, but the sister seems to have like some kind of soft spot for Big Charlie, Big Chuck.
Her husband does not,
and brings him home. Yeah, brings him home, and he's saying that his new thing is he's going to start a newspaper in Chicago called the Chicago
Theocrat.
And I don't know if I assume he doesn't have any, skills in writing or any real reason to be able to do that. But his sister, who I think married money or as wealthy somehow, she lives like a fairly like high class lifestyle. Yeah. It seems like she lets him stay with them for a little bit. He's playing around, crawling around with the kids, and then the sister's wife or husband comes home, and Charlie's just like feeling like an idiot. He's like, "Oh no, I'm going to Chicago, whatever, blah blah blah." So then he goes to Chicago. He dresses up, and like they shut him down. They turn him down like immediately
after he robs his sister and her husband.
Well, no, I don't think he
robs him again.
Yeah, but he hadn't done that. Oh, yeah. Really? No, he hadn't done it yet. He went to Chicago to try to get a loan to start the newspaper, and they turn him down. But then that's also when he runs into the National Convention and sees Garfield and like falls in, and
then he comes back to their house, jacks him, and then goes to DC or New York.
Yeah, it goes to New York. And that's when he says it. And that's like when the first episode closes, he's like, "I work in politics," for like no reason whatsoever, because he thinks he's going to like write. he all of a sudden he gets this calling. He has this calling where he thinks that he needs to help James Garfield become president.
Okay. Oh, I thought he jacked him before, and then he was living the high life.
Well, he was living the high life in New York, or in DC, and like in New York and DC. He tells them that, oh, I got the loan, like he got approved or whatever, but then he stole the money and bounced.
Yeah. He had no idea who the hell Garfield was, and then he found out when Garfield was nominated, he fell in love with him.
I mean, the actor was perfect actor. It was a perfect casting for him. Nick Offerman as Chester Arthur's great, like just a drunk goofball, like kind of like just a patsy for Roscoe Conkling. You know, it was kind of interesting, and like I think we don't have to get into detail with the plot because we obviously don't remember it. I didn't take notes, and it's not really the point. Like I think what was cool about it was they were really laying on, and what we talked about was the reason for the assassination was what do they call it? The system that was in where you would get a job. System. You were expected to get a job. The spoil system. I mean, that was what they were driving it home like from the start, and that was pretty interesting. So, you know, as we talked about in the episode that we did, is this Guiteau finds his way to New York to do a stump speech for James Garfield to try to get him elected. That no one really asked him to do.
Keeps trying to get an audience. He walks in with Chester Arthur and James Blaine, and no one ever knows. He meets Chester Arthur like 6 times, it seems like, in the show. And every time he meets him, he's either like he's like slovenly drunk and doesn't remember having a discussion with them, or he's like beating him. He's like pushing him to the ground. So there's no in between.
Oh yeah, well the first time he met him, the first time he met him, he beat him up because he was talking to James Garfield, right? And then Chester Arthur was like, "Get out of here!" And then he beat him up. Mm-hmm. Was it Conkling?
Yeah, because at that point Garfield was never
in Chicago
at Conkling's right hand. It was always right at his side. Arthur was
Arthur.
Sorry, Arthur,
not Garfield. So it's just, I mean, it was just good. It was interesting. I thought they really nailed that well, like talking about the spoil system and just the delusion that probably a lot of people had, and like how people were getting jobs that they shouldn't have and stuff like that. That I thought was. I think
the reason they I would be shocked if part of the reason they wanted to make this. I mean, granted, the book came out in 2011, but maybe the show came out now. Well, Trump wasn't elected yet in 24, but I think it's like it. I mean, I'm sure I haven't read all the reviews, but people could be like, "Oh, the spoil system. Do we still have it? Is it? Did it ever really? Did it ever really go away? Even not even just Trump, but either other party officials. You could make the case some Democrats, maybe under the guise.
It's so obvious with Trump.
Yeah, it's so obvious with him though,
because it's high profile people that are getting it. I think when you have somebody like Steve Bannon in his first term getting job, you know, that's kind of a similar thing. But you know, you're not at the same. It's not at the same high profile as like an Elon Musk
for sure.
Or Triple H.
Very qualified.
The wrestler. So it brings that up, and I just thought, you know, it was good. I thought it was interesting in that part. It was great with Garfield, or with Guiteau, like showing up to the White House and like waiting for him, like we talked about. He was there every day. And they were kind of like, you know, and he thought he was more important than everybody else.
You believe he had a higher calling at this point, in his life.
Yeah. And then he finally met Garfield, and I thought that scene was great when he met.
That was cringeworthy.
I thought it was great when he was like, he just wanted to be. He's like, well, what do you want? He's like, I just want to be your friend. And Garfield was just. I mean, Michael Shannon was great. Just kind of like exactly how you knew that went down. Or he's
squirming,
just like,
and he started being like squirming in his chair. He's like, "You're making me really uncomfortable here."
He's like, "You're just so great," and he's like, "No, I'm not great. God's great." And like he's like, "Wow." And then like during, and like this is probably Hollywood, but like during that meeting, you know, Garfield gets told that his wife's sick or whatever, and they're like, you got to go right now, and like he's like, I got to go, and then Guiteau's just like, okay, yeah, but like how about my like position, or like he really wanted to be in Paris and he kept like asking for that, and fudging his way into places. And this was the point that really like flipped a switch for him, was that happened.
Did he meet Blaine?
And then Garfield was like, yeah, sure.
Sorry.
And then he waited for Blaine, and he met Blaine outside. He forged a note.
Right.
So after his wife got sick, Garfield was like, no more visits. I'm not visiting people anymore. And then Guiteau came in to get another visit.
Like the chief of staff
and
with
then
the
that's
house
when
was like, dude, we're not doing this anymore. You got to leave. And he basically like started closing the door, started shooing him away. And that's when they delivered the best line
that's
of
when the
show.
Eat shit, I'm a taxpayer. He throws something at him and runs out. But then so he wasn't getting the audience. So then he forged notes. He tried to forge notes, and he met Blaine outside and was like, hey, here's a note from Garfield. Like, I'm ready for my assignment now.
And Blaine was never having it. It's like the fourth time he met him. Apparently that happened. Blaine finally snapped, never speak to me again on the Paris consulship as long as you live. Apparently that's what he actually said.
Yeah, you said that. You quoted that in the podcast if you had listened to it. And that's when the flip switch, though. That was it. That was like, as soon as that happened, he was like, I need to kill this guy because I need to save. Then he started looking as like he needs to save it because now all of a sudden he needs Conkling and the Conkling and the Chester A. Arthur. He needs them to be running the show for like no reason whatsoever. He just thought that was like his.
Apparently, he considered himself a stalwart, and that like basically, I think to his point. I mean, obviously what he did was irrelevant, but the whole system was at a point where it's like, I'm waiting here every day, like. Even if I didn't help you get elected, I'm standing here hours every day. Like, give me some job. Obviously, you're not going to get the consulship to Paris, but
that was pretty good. They had other guys coming in asking for jobs too.
Funny.
That was pretty.
They
funny.
were just as
I just
ridiculous.
need a job that pays.
They looked just as absurd.
I know.
I think that's how it went, though. The doors were always open.
Probably, yeah. I mean. I think I said it on the podcast that we talked about. Is like, there's a lot of people that think that way. Like, oh, I made a tweet that got this many likes, and that's what got you. That it's the equivalent of that. Somebody I tweeted this, and it got this many likes, or it went viral because I said this about you, and now I think I helped you get elected. Similar situation, right? I mean, like the modern stump speech is Twitter.
Yeah. X,
formerly known as Twitter. Which I guess I don't really have access to that now either, because that's linked to my Google.
So it looks like his motivation was by getting rid of Garfield, who he saw as a threat. It's kind of, he literally saw him getting denied a job as basically his way of understanding that Garfield was going to do away with the spoil system. He was going to do away with the spoil system. He extrapolated out to, I'm not getting a job, so this guy's trying to ruin the Republican Party and ruin the country because I'm not getting a job, and he wants to do away with the patronage system. So I got to kill him so Chester Arthur and Roscoe Conkling kind of stay in power, and then I can get a job probably through them.
Yeah, I think that was and like I think he's like, you lied. You said you would talk to us every day, and you're not doing. It shattered his universe that he thought he got fooled, or he just couldn't deal with it. He couldn't cope with it, and yeah, I don't know. He was great. I mean, it was great. I mean. There was the quirkiness, and that was great.
His forged signature did work, did help him get that rental. The first time he went and he stole that pad of paper, he wrote a letter from from Garfield, and he used it to show that woman, the madame of the house he was staying at in D.C.
Yeah, so that he could
stay.
Yeah.
He was clever guy.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, for sure. And he had great handwriting. I mean, we wrote in quill pens at Monticello. Was that Monticello where we wrote with or was that Yorktown or Jamestown?
No, it was Monticello.
No, I think that was Monticello. Yeah. Oh yeah, because we were right. Yeah, and it's hard to write with those things. So he great penmanship,
great signature,
right? With a quill
great
and
shot.
But yeah, I think so. This is where I thought it was really going to lose you, and it was probably the most awkward. And I don't know, we can fact check it on air because I think we had other listeners that I know, fans of the show, friends of the show, who had the same thought. So, well, first, I don't even know if this was true or if this was a dream, but having him in the church behind him with the gun, having Guiteau in the church sitting behind Garfield, and then like screaming like "You don't know God," and then running out, and like Garfield, like I don't think that was. I don't know. I don't think that. I doubt that happened. I don't even know if that was supposed to be like a dream too sequence in the like it just kind of like in his head because like there's no way that was just so unrealistic that would have happened. I think. I don't know.
Says yes. Charles Guiteau followed President James Garfield to church where he sat behind him but did not shoot because he did not want to harm other worshipers. Guiteau also had another opportunity to shoot Garfield at a train station but refrained because he felt sympathy for Garfield's ailing wife who was with him. At church, he followed Garfield to church on at least one occasion but decided against shooting because he believed it would endanger innocent people in the crowd.
Shoot. You're making me look like an idiot all over.
Well, you said do it
dude.
on the live.
I know. Well, okay. So I didn't think that was whatever. That's fine. But then, so he shoots him. So it's classic. Like now, all of a sudden, the whole thing, this turmoil, and the show's built to be like, the other thing that was kind of a, I don't know, was they built Garfield up to be this like George Washington.
Like, he could have been president. An Abraham Lincoln. He could have been. He was really going to fight the corruption in the like he was. What could have been?
I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, it was very like he's like they built him up to be like he would have been one of the best presidents of all. Like the way that he behaved and he stopped the corruption from New York by what he did with Conkling, and I assume all that's true. I'm not going to fact check because whatever, but like getting him out of the picture by how did he do that?
He was frustrating Conkling, and then Conkling decided to basically renounce his Senate seat. He had some power play in mind, so that he go back to New York,
so then he could get revoted.
Mandate, and that didn't happen. It kind of backfired on him,
and then that was it.
The post.
Yeah, so, New York. Oh, that's right. He replaced. Garfield
Somebody
chose
else.
Arthur's replacement for that they didn't want, and then that made him lose his mind. The customs house, and that made him lose his mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. And then he thought if he left the Senate, Garfield would have to be like everything would go to crap, and then he would get reelected into the Senate, and then Garfield would owe him like, "Thank God you're back," and what like it was a power play in that sense, and then it felt. But anyway, so like that whole thing and whatever, but yeah, they definitely made him seem like he was a George Washington.
I think more Abraham Lincoln, not
anyway,
George Washington, more Abraham Lincoln in terms of the modern take of what people think of Abraham Lincoln, like this.
Just like he would have been on Mount Rushmore, like he would have been a Mount Rushmore president. But so he went through all this stuff with the Conkling and getting that, and him and Chester Arthur were like not getting along because like Chester Arthur was with Conkling, and then whatever, he wasn't listening. But then like he kind of just hit his stride in the show, right? He was like, all that stuff was away. Him and Arthur were kind of getting along. He was just about to get ready to really get into his presidency. He was enjoying life. And then he ends up getting shot in the back.
Yes. In the station.
In the train station. And he's laying down on the train station, and everyone's like, "Oh my God." And Guiteau runs, and then they're like, "Get him." And he runs, and then they catch him. And then there's a great scene of Guiteau being in the police in the meat wagon, basically going to prison. And he's like, "Isn't this nice?" And he pulls out the gun. And I was like, "What the are you doing? Give me that." And he's like, "You're going to remember me. That's going to wind up in a museum." Like all that, he was like they alluded to his like delusion that everyone was going to like him and he was going to be this like great figure. Like he saved the country, which is probably pretty common for what people who do these types of assassination. But that happened. He ran. They caught him. Whatever. But Garfield's laying on the ground, and they're like, "We need a doctor. We need a doctor." And like up walks an African American fellow doctor, and he comes up and he's like, "I'm a doctor." And then I don't know if it's not Blaine, is it? It's some other like old crotchety white dude is like. He's like, I'm a doctor. I studied at Freedman's College. And then the white crotchety guy like, fine, then, you can stick to taking care of your freedmen, not the president, basically saying like, you don't deserve
right when he was shot and he was on the ground, right?
Work
this
the
is
president.
before they took him to the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I will. Yep. But then, yeah, he might not be alive long enough.
Yeah, he's like, fine, I won't work on him, but he's not going to be alive. And then he starts. So then fine, you can do it. So then he starts working on him, and he's kind of, I don't know. They don't really show much about what the black gentleman is doing, but then they show the white gentleman come in, and he's like, I'll take care of it. And he's like digging in the body, and like Garfield passes out, and like this guy he obviously doesn't wiping medical equipment on his shirt. Like he's like obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the black gentleman, he's like, you shouldn't be doing that, which is a pretty good scene. Like he's like you're gonna do more damage than, like, he's basically saying like you're doing more damage than good. Like leave him alone. Like you're hurting the patient.
Have you not been reading? Yeah,
you don't know what you're doing.
Have you not been reading what's been coming out of Europe? He didn't say the words germ theory, but what papers and what the research in Europe is showing about. Effectively germ theory, like using clean instrumentation. And the guy, and he had some great quote about it. I was like, that's a bunch of bullshit, right? Like he was like, you, right? So I mean, it was a way to steer the direction of like, and like I'm actually it's good that they brought this up, or that they presented it this way. Like you have to present the situation that it was the gangrene that killed him. Not the and that's what we discussed, that is like the infection, the gangrene is what killed him. So it was a good way to introduce that. It was just like on the nose. It was like really on the nose, like really Hollywooded up, like, Well, I was curious. First like question: was it a black doctor that first attended? That was true. It was a black. Yeah, it was. Nah, a black doctor did attend to him on the ground, so that part was true. That's interesting. That it's true. I stand corrected again. Yeah. No, I feel like pretty good story. That's a pretty good story then. So then I was very disappointed. I think I was texting with you and I was like, oh, I finished episode 3. I'm like, I don't know if they're leaving enough time for, the trial, or like, I don't know. And like the episode, Guiteau was barely in this episode. So like did episode 3 end with the assassination? I think so. No, I don't think he was shot until episode 4. Episode 4 is an hour and a half. I had 45 minutes left in it when we turned it off in the 4th episode, and he hadn't been shot yet. Okay. So either way, I mean, but like Guiteau was not featured. Like the whole ending was mostly about the gangrene, and the doctor didn't know what the F he was doing. They brought Alexander Graham Bell in to like try to locate the bullet. I think was that Alexander Graham Bell. I think it was. He had some contraption to try to locate the bullet. The metal, basically like the metal and like a metal detector. And then the doctor's like, it's not. It didn't work. And then the doctor's just like a dickhead. I mean, which is probably true. He's like, it's where where I thought. And then fast forward, they did the autopsy. Just cut him again. And people were like, can you stop? And like Chester Arthur's like, I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm going to jab that in your eye. Dude, everybody was like, yeah, he did say that. Because the guy was like, but I don't think that's not unlike. I don't think they were saying, doctor, I don't think you know what you're doing. I think people would have been like, yeah, I think it was doctor. Like more common. I mean, what do I know? Like, yeah. That's true too. Yeah, I'm sure. But it was a way that they had to paint the picture of like, but I don't know why they really had to paint the picture, because there needed to be a whole nother episode. So I think it's one episode too short. They didn't talk about the trial at all. It was the trial of the century.
They didn't cover the trial. They were following, like, very sad, Garfield, his family, all that stuff. And they were kind of talking about Guiteau. It's kind of like he met with his sister, and he didn't really, you could tell he didn't understand like what he had done or whatever. But, there were so many things in the, like, he represented himself in the trial.
Yeah,
like there was so much meat on the bone
to really. No, it's true.
He published like a dating, like he was soliciting for a girl for like hot like women in the newspaper. They did talk about him like, he was like posing and he was like trying to be this whole hero, and like he didn't really see the point of like he was the delusion that like the public loved him. That came across pretty well, but man, they could have done so much more. Like there was he blamed, he said, I didn't kill him. The gangrene did, or the doctor did. Like he specifically said that in court. That was his defense. And like
they decided
that.
to have his wife come in and basically just say, you're going to be forgotten. That scene was forced. I didn't care for that. That scene was like,
yeah, that was like, yeah, because like, I mean, it's a point. No one does know who, like, especially, I mean, now they kind of undid it. Netflix undid what she was trying to do.
Yeah, right.
Like she's saying you're never going to be remembered, and then Netflix releases like a 4-part epic.
Well, I feel like up until the part, like the
TV
show
series
made him a little more complex, and he was funny and goofy. And it's like there was a little bit of a sense of, not just sympathy for the guy, but just like I can kind of put myself back in that time period and looking for a job, and guy's never had a leg up in life, and he's just trying to get ahead. It's like, yeah, like there was a bit of a empathetic, sympathetic kind of thing with him. But I think, in the 4th episode, once he shot him, it was like, oh, this guy's just cast him, just throw him off to the side, and everything's about Garfield and his wife and how upset his wife is. But yeah, you're right. They could have made his character that much more complex and intricate if they did the trial.
And it could have been so funny. In the trial, but they didn't leave us hanging. Of course, the coup d'etat, the whole thing. The whole time I'm wondering. I don't know. Were you wondering? The whole time I'm wondering
because he started quoting the Bible. Like, that's not what happened. He was doing the Bible quote. Like, no.
Yeah. So of course, like, he gets sent up to the gallows, and like he is oblivious, and that's exactly how I pictured him. Kind of, I think I pictured him
till the very end.
The way I pictured him more like insane. Like I pictured him more like manic and more like scary crazy to me than like how he was portrayed as just like this like goofball that like couldn't really find himself. He had no sense of reality. He didn't really know what was going on. But man, so as we talked about in the episode, he wrote a poem 3 hours before he he had all this time to write what he wanted to say, and he's waited until the last minute. Very John move. 3 hours before he got executed, he wrote a poem. I am going to the Lordy. And I don't remember if we knew he sang it or not. I know he recited it, but in this show he sang it, and it was great. It was so funny how he was singing it, and they were showing him like looking out on the crowd that was watching him getting hung.
I'm going to the Lordy, I'm so glad, oh glory, hallelujah, glory, hallelujah. I saved my party, I saved my land, I'm gone to the Lordy, I'm so glad.
And it was like, it was his realization that like, oh wait, I don't have any followers. Like I'm not going to be like, I didn't do anything. Like I don't know.
Then did you hear at the very end of the show on the credits, like the hard rock version of it?
Oh yeah, dude, I found it.
To the Lord, hallelujah. Yeah. I'm going to the Lord, hallelujah. Oh glory. I'm going to the Lord. I'm so glad. I wonder what I'll do when I get to
Yeah. It's like, who's singing that? Yeah. Then well, what did you think of the ending? You're just like leaving me hanging.
The ending of the show? What do you mean?
Yeah. Like the I'm going to the Lordy.
It was hilarious.
Did you laugh?
I was like, they did it. They pulled it off.
The thing though that they didn't do right is he instructed the executioner that he'll be ready to be hung once he drops the paper that he wrote that on. They didn't have that in there. He dropped it after his feet were dangling and twitching.
No, it's true about the trial. Damn. Yeah, I guess that's the biggest ball drop.
Oh, you didn't catch that? I think I thought it was going to be. I was worried that like we were 3 episodes in, and he hadn't been killed yet or whatever. However long it was, I feel like
he should have been shot by
a
the
lot
end of
of
the
time
third episode, and then that hour and a half 4th episode could.
I don't want to say like they could have used like 2.
You thought the trial could have been?
They could have used. I think they could have used an extra episode. I don't know. I think the timing. I think the lead up to it was great. I think it was great. I thought they did a really good job of like setting the
episode
stage
with the convention, like him getting elected. Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
Well, the first episode was the convention. The second episode was the convention. No, the first episode was the convention. The second episode was him getting elected, basically, and then the third episode was like his battle with Conkling and trying to get his cabinet approved and all that stuff.
Throwing up.
Yeah, which was funny. I mean, that was great. I mean, Nick Offerman was great. I thought he was great. He played him great. I don't know if that's what Chester Arthur was like, but probably. I thought it was a very touching moment too. When Chester Arthur came in, I thought that was a great scene when Chester Arthur came in to resign. It's like Chester Arthur was basically like imploding his own vice presidency because he didn't want to do it anymore after the whole nonsense with Garfield assigning somebody else to the
customs house.
What is it? The customs? Yeah, the customs house. And then, he came in and released a bunch of stuff in the newspaper, like talking on Garfield. And then, so he comes in, he's like, I'm going to resign. I'm sure you read what I said. I'm going to resign or whatever. And Garfield was like, no, I don't accept your resignation. I think, I want to work with you. I don't, maybe that's true. I mean, maybe he was a great guy. Maybe he was like the most misremembered president. And it's a shame. It's a huge shame, but, all that was a time because like then, he was like, I'm going to see my wife, or I'm taking my wife to the beach to like heal. Cause the ocean air is good for you or whatever. And Chester Arthur had lost his wife, and he said, "Oh yeah, I took my wife there." And then Garfield's like, "Oh, I never, all this time, I never asked you about your wife." And then Chester Arthur's like, no one has. I think that's when Chester Arthur started realizing, like, it was like one of those realizations, like, I'm hanging with a bunch of people, like a bunch of bad people that don't care about me.
I'm just being a pawn. I'm a pawn in their game.
Yeah, like he was kind of realizing that, like, he was lost. He lost himself with a bunch of ingenuous people and got kind of caught up in money and all that stuff. And all that was a great scene.
Never put her in a resignation. But still, it was a good scene.
Bummer. It was a good scene.
Chester Arthur, the best part, and then when he was in office, he actually did a lot of the civil service reform as an homage to Garfield.
Like he continued it. That was great too. I mean, the ending where it talks about like I had said earlier about the end of the Republican, stuff that we talked about on the podcast. I thought that was cool to see that. I mean, we nailed it. Like there were 2 episodes basically. I mean, it was only a little bit of the assassination episode, but when we did that episode on Grover Cleveland, that touched on a lot of the stuff that they were kind of talking about there too. So it's a good time period. I know it's your favorite time period. The post-Civil War Reconstruction era is your favorite time period in America.
Well, it's an interesting, definitely a time period I think more people would serve more people who are curious. How do we get here now? I think there's a lot of unturned stones from that time period.
What do you think about the style?
Conkling looked sharp.
Like, what do you like? Do you like that top hat, like the suits and like that kind of? Do you like that style?
I could get down with it. Maybe not in June or July, in DC, but they're pretty cool.
I thought DC. It was cool seeing like the White House just being like a.
She could walk up to. Like I just sat on a bench
like,
and was just staring at it. Like, I just literally, I could walk inside
staring right at it.
If I wanted to.
Oh, there was another thing. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was I think it's a good way to present. It's kind of like how I would like this podcast to go, but it doesn't seem to go that way. Where like a fun way to teach people something, right?
Wet their whistle.
Like, I think people.
I mean,
I think if you would have had to not be paying attention to not learn something about politics in the 1800s, while also enjoying like a
literally a story enough to do a Google search to who was Chester Arthur, and I'm literally on an article right now. Who was the real Chester Arthur? And it's a picture of like Nick Offerman next to like the real Chester Arthur, and it's like, if you want to at least,
that's cool.
I wish they did that with more presidential time periods. If you could make another story in this vein on Netflix with another presidency or another time period, what would it be?
Andrew Johnson would be pretty
That
good.
would be interesting, and that would be like seeing the radical Republicans kind of come online. That would be a reconstruction. That'd be pretty contentious. John,
like Grant?
No,
like
Grant would be a little after. I mean, specifically after the war, because
Johnson. Like if it was Johnson, then Grant.
Well, the Grant was kind of once.
Like right after, like a sequel to.
Well, that's
Lincoln.
what. Yeah, so Johnson wanted to kind of carry out more of like what Lincoln had in mind with bringing back the Southern states, but radical Republicans basically wanted to treat them as foreign.
Because that wouldn't be
countries.
so fun. Jackson would be
John
good.
Tyler
too.
Getting kicked out of his party.
That would be
vice
funny.
President.
It would be
also,
funny.
Like, what do we do? The president's been shot and killed. He had pneumonia, and seeing him.
Well, he wasn't shot and killed, but yeah.
You know what? I died from pneumonia. I can't get...
Yeah, no. Of course you would say John Tyler. Anyone but not John Tyler. So I would say probably Jackson would be interesting. I think that would be... It wouldn't be funny, though. John Tyler would be funny. That guy is a buffoon.
No, he's not.
With the boat blowing up.
Wasn't
the boat blowing up. Yes, it was. He was on that boat. They called him his accidency because of that. Hey, do you think Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is named after Roscoe Conkling?
Yeah. I think Roscoe Conkling's hair was nice. If you could have one person's hairstyle in that in Death by Lightning, whose would it be?
Oh, I like Chester Arthur. I liked his style is pretty sweet with the mutton chops and stuff. Yeah, I like that. What about you? I will say, like my beard, I kind of have like I could the way that my beard, you know what I mean. Like it doesn't grow my cheeks like that was kind of what I thought made him so ornery was like he couldn't grow like a nice beard like everybody else. Like Blaine had like a great beard.
Mrs. N was
Garfield had a great beard.
Mrs. N was wondering why his beard was growing sideways. Guiteau's.
Whose? Because he's a dickhead. I don't know. It was weird shape. I mean, he's got a John Brown look to him too. I think John Brown had a similar type beard, didn't he?
John Brown would be a good documentary, but that would get super political. Not very funny. But maybe.
I gotta go. I got work to do. I gotta be up early tomorrow.
I'll see you.
Think.
Later.
Come on, man.
And we say bye-bye.